What is up everybody, and welcome back to another video on my channel. It hasn't been long since we did our latest upload on the Apple Watch Series 7. Don't forget to go check that out. This will be linked up in the top right hand corner if you want to go and see it. But today we are going to be unboxing the Keychron K8 wireless mechanical keyboard built and designed for Mac. Also obviously compatible with Windows, but this is it here. I've been waiting quite a while for this. It's been about a month since I ordered this, and it's finally here. It arrived in the mail today, so we are going to be unboxing it today, and I am very excited to be unboxing this, guys. So without further ado, we're just going to jump straight into it, and we're going to start unboxing it. So if you don't know what the Keychron series of keyboards is, they're practically a keyboard manufacturer based in the US, and what they do is they make mechanical keyboards especially for Mac. Now, the ones that they make for Mac, they're all compatible with PC too, as they can quickly and seamlessly switch between Mac OS and Windows OS, as you can see up here. So there's a little switch on the side of the keyboard and you can easily switch. So this keyboard is very versatile and can be used on both platforms. Now, opening the box, we will be greeted with, as we pull that away, we will have a little instruction manual here at first about key swapping, I'm assuming, all that sort of stuff. Now, before we go any further, for those of you who do know what keyboards are, especially mechanical keyboards, all that sort of stuff about them, I did get a hot swappable keyboard here. So this is the preloaded keys on this are Gateron hot swappables. I won't tell you what Gaterons are, it's a bigger story. If you want to, I will leave some links to what that means in the description below. But hot swappable basically means that you can take out these things here, which are the keycaps, and you can actually pull them out and you can replace them with completely new key, like I guess if you will, switches below the actual keycaps, and then with other keys like Cherry, there's different brands that do different things. But this is it here, guys. Obviously we have the instruction manual here, all that sort of stuff, how to switch stuff in, switch lights and all that, and then obviously a little instruction manual on how to remove keycaps and all of that as well. The first thing that we can see in the box on the right hand side are the keycaps for Windows OS. So I'm not sure if you can see in here, we do have an Alt key right here. So yes, there's obviously the option if you want to switch to PC, or if you are buying this for a PC Windows operating system. And then we also have a different key color for the key switch at the top, up in the corner here. Up in this corner, I believe it is, we'll see in a second. That's practically for changing the lights. Another thing that this keyboard has is 15 different options for RGB lighting. This keyboard is very versatile in terms of its RGB, and it's got 15 modes that you can just browse through, and all of them are very unique and cool in their own way. Another thing that we have on the right side of the package here is a nice, very nice quality braided USB-C cable. We have it at an angle so that you can, because basically the power point is in the side of the keyboard, so it will make it much easier if we could just able to plug it in like so. So that is very helpful by them doing it sideways, and it is a really nice sort of, I assume this is a nylon braided sort of cable, but it is very nice quality. So that is something I do appreciate, having nice quality cables that most probably won't wear and tear over time. So that is very helpful. I love that. Before I move on to the next item in the box, I will mention that also you do have the option to use this keyboard as a wired form factor. You just pretty much plug this in and then plug this into your computer, obviously. So you have the option whether you want to do wireless or wired. It's completely up to you. If you've got a home setup, maybe you want to do wired because it's just more convenient, but if you're out and about, you might not want to carry around the cable. The Keychron K8 actually has up to 240 hours of typing with the backlight off. So let's say that you are running the RGB backlight, maybe you would have, it doesn't say on their website, but it says a roughly around, from people reviewing it, they say they get a roughly around about 180. So yeah, it's about 60 hours less, which is quite a big difference, I guess. But at the same time, you might not even be using it, the RGB, that much, or you might just have this plugged in every time you see it go below a certain percentage. Now, the next accessory that we do get in the box is in fact what they call the keycap puller. This is it here, this one here, the long sort of, I guess, gadget, if you will. This is basically used to pretty much pull the caps out when you want to take the caps off, either switching them out or switching your own caps in. That is another thing I'll mention with mechanical keyboards, if you're new to them, is that they do actually, or they can be replaced with other sort of keycaps to really customize it to your own life. And then we have the other tool in here that is separate. That is actually what will pull the switches out from the board, so that from the, I believe it's called the ISO board, but that is basically what you, the tool that you use to pull the actual switches from the keyboard layout itself. So that's another tool that we do get. Very good that we get that. Would kind of be useless without it. And then in here, I believe we have just some more instruction manuals, stuff if you want to look at shortcuts, which was also on this sheet here. There were a bunch of shortcuts about certain things that you could do with the keyboard and all that. So that's all there if you need it or if you want to use it for shortcuts, and also how to change the lighting and all that. This is the Keychron K8. So we're just going to take the wrapping off here now. So it's actually quite a big keyboard. I'm not 100% sure the exact diameter of this, but it is around about maybe 20% larger than an Apple keyboard on a Mac. If you can sort of see in the corner here, it's maybe 30% bigger than the actual 13-inch MacBook itself. It is quite large, but this is what you expect from a mechanical or most actual keyboards that are separate from an actual device. Putting this thing down, we can see the design is perfect of this. I love the design of their keyboards. All of their keyboards look very nice like this. One thing I will do straight away is I'll show you that behind the board we have kickstands for high adjustability. That is something that is very much appreciated depending on what angle you like to type on. Now, having a look at this first off, you might notice that the edge here sounds a bit like almost like plastic, but it's actually a aluminium casing. So there is an option on their website whether you want to get an aluminium casing or whatever really. I mean, their website really does offer so much customization, and that's just for like one keyboard. This is just for one keyboard. Like if you browse through Keychron's website, you can find absolutely hundreds of possibilities for you to make. Now, so this is the keyboard right here, obviously. Now, one thing that you might be wondering about is obviously you've got most people will be familiar with these keys at the end, the page down, home, and all those keys. But something that some people might be noticing is that there isn't actually a 10 key layout. Now, what a 10 key layout is basically, it's an extra area on the keyboard that some, I guess, external keyboards have. It's basically the number pad. This is a 10 keyless keyboard, so it does not include the numpad, but it does sort of fit what I wanted. There were keyboards that had the 10 keys on the end, the number pad, if you will. For me, it wasn't something that I needed or something that I really wanted. I felt that it was just going to make the keyboard way too big, and it's just, you know, something that I didn't really need. This is called, I believe, a 80% keyboard. That 100%, or that extra 20% that we've lost is from obviously the 10 keys on the number pad. Now, I have opted out for what they call the Gateron brown switches. On the website, I'll put a picture up right now of their chart, but the specs for these are, I guess, office and gaming. Now, obviously, I don't really game too much on my Mac. I do a lot of office sort of stuff in terms of like, I don't guess, you know, typing and all that. They do have Gateron blue switches, but they're very clicky, like very, very clicky. So we will go ahead and do a quick sound test. Now, from that sound test, you could obviously sort of hear that the keys sort of sounded clicky, but they were, you know, at the same time, sort of deep. They didn't have that very extremely clicky sound that had that big sort of pitch reverb. It had that deepness to it, yet still has the mechanical clicky sound. So that is something that I do like about keycaps that I have chosen. But if in the future I decide to maybe try out the really clicky ones or even the gentle ones, I can, because they're not soldered to the actual board of the keyboard or the ISO, again, I believe, but they are in fact just there. So you can pull them out with the tool from over here, and you can swap them out for different switches, not different keycaps, different switches. Obviously, you can still swap out the the keycaps if you wanted to. To give you an example of what the, I guess, hot swappable version of this keyboard means. Basically, this is the tool that removes the keycaps. You can also pull them off yourself. But as you can see there, I've just pulled off a keycap there, and you can see the Gateron switches here. Now, if I had opted out for a soldered version, this part here, this compartment here, would actually be fully soldered to the board. Now, using this tool here, with some effort, I won't show you right now, but practically that tool, this one here, can be used to remove the actual switches themselves and be swapped out for something completely and utterly new. It's not like this brand only makes it work with certain switches. It works with every single switch out in the game because they're all sort of like a one size fits all, I guess, keyboard layouts. I'll quickly go and set this up with my computer and get it turned on so that you can see some of the RGB lighting options that we have on this keyboard. Now that we are fully in the dark, we can actually see the RGB setup right here. I will quickly run through some of the RGB colors, or I guess setups right now. So that was practically one mode there. That wasn't one plus the modes, that was one mode across different colors. So to switch between the different modes, we tap this button up in the corner. And now as you can see, we are going in a circular motion instead of a wave. So we can obviously again do the same thing, switch between the colors here. Now this is one that's pretty cool. Wherever you tap, it sort of does a wave that goes across the keyboard in that key layout. So if I click the spacebar, it'll go across the bottom side of the key. And then we have a full sort of white layout. So obviously it is RGB, but you can also just get the full white layout, or you can change it to a still color. Now, this may be one of my favorite ones. This is pretty much just one that lights up one key. So whatever you type on, it lights up that key, and it stays lit for about maybe 2 seconds. So this is in fact my first mechanical keyboard, especially obviously for macOS. Keychron is I assume fairly new brand. I haven't done much research on their brand itself, more so the keyboard, but overall I do think that this is a very well built keyboard, especially for the price. It was 125 US, I do believe. Shipping obviously to Australia, it'll probably be different pricing depending on your location. It does sound fairly heavy on price in terms of the fact that converted to Australian, it is actually 175 or 170-ish dollars. But when you look at it, it actually does cost a lot more to build your own mechanical keyboards, because that is an option with mechanical keyboards. You can actually build your own mechanical keyboards and sort of build them to how you want them to be. Doing it that way can cost a lot more. So I feel like Keychron has sort of offered a very customizable yet easy to work with and very user-friendly experience with their keyboards. The options that you have for all of their keyboards is just amazing, and they give you so many options in terms of how you want your keys to sound and all of that. So overall, I think this is an amazing keyboard. I do love the overall build of it, and I think first impressions, it's amazing. Overall for today, I feel like this has been an amazing unboxing, and I do love the keyboard. First impressions are amazing, so thank you all for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the video. And that is all for today, so I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.